Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. Within these pages is a Bible of blazing passion for today's modern, apathetic youths, even though it was meant as an after-party for Miyakashi Hen. It completely ruins the impact of that chapter, deemed too dangerous for consumption. This legendary scenario was sealed away. Continue only if you vow that you are truly degenerate. Batsukoishi, the most awful daydream. And it's decided. Keiichi Mabra is in last place today. Ooh, no, not again. I lost again. That was how it came to be that Keiichi Mabra once again played an embarrassing punishment game. For the sake of his honor, we'll keep exactly how embarrassing it would be a secret for now. Now, no, please, forget me. I can't get buried anymore. Why? Why can't I win? I've been losing constantly lately. I'm a punishment game regular at this point. Am I just everyone's dress-up doll now? Keiichi was just experiencing firsthand what it meant to cry into one's pillow. Ah, God, Buddha, if you're out there, please grant my prayers. I don't want to have to lose these club games forever. Please grant me the power to never lose again. Just then, with a bang, a ceiling tile flew off, and 3 figures swooped down from it. Don't be so distant, Kai! God, Buddha, the Holy Mother, you pray to many when you have other more reliable allies you could be asking first. Tomi, Cloud, and Eerie. Wait, what? You're telling me Oishi used to be Cloud's Strife? Wow. I did not think Cloud would go from being a mercenary to a police officer. Where's the Buster Sword? I'm imagining him holding a giant Buster Sword. At this point, just imagine Oishi at a Cloud Strife cosplay. Tomi, I'd say, Shining Force EXA, technically the 5th Shining Force game. Eerie... I feel like you could just about put him in most PS1 and Sega Genesis games. What do you 3 want at this hour? I'm not going to ask you why you showed up from inside the ceiling for now. Isn't it obvious? We're siblings and spirits, soul brothers. That's right, Kay. Your worries are our worries. You were crying just now, weren't you? About how you can't win at club games lately. Nufufu, we shall grant your wishes brilliantly. We will make you win. We will give you the strength to win. Why, everyone, thank you. Squeeze. The four men engaged in a tight group hug. There was a touching seed of ardent friendship. I want to win, but I just can't. I wonder why. Kay, why do you want to win? Do you want to win because you don't want to lose? Well, yeah, the Punisher games have been escalating in embarrassment lately. I just want to avoid being last place somehow. That passive stance is the problem. If you avoid last place, you won't have to play the Punisher games, you say? That lack of fighting spirit is the very reason you can't win. Sob, yeah, you're right. Right now I'm not after first place. I figure it's enough to just avoid the Punisher games. I see, you realized it. At some point your fear of the Punisher games stripped you of your fangs of greed. When you regain those fangs, Kay, your true power will bloom once more. You really are my seniors in life, you're right. But how am I supposed to get my fangs back? You lost your fangs because you were scared of the punishment games. But if you think about it, you can also use that to get them back. Huh? Cloud, that... What does that mean? I'm talking about the punishment games. Take Mion, for example. She's the one who always dresses you up in shameful outfits, isn't she? What if you dressed her up in those embarrassing outfits instead? Embarrassing things Mion made me wear. Yeah, I remember. When she made me wear the school swimsuit, I'll remember that humiliation the rest of my entire life. For my entire life. Yes, take revenge on her for that humiliation. Put me on San as a school swimsuit. Whoa, now, just making her wear it isn't enough. What about making her go to class for an entire day with it on? What? I thought punishment games were things you only had to endure for a few minutes. By extending it an entire day, what a wicked punishment game it would become. In Erie's delusion, he made Mion wear a school swimsuit and forced her to spend an entire day walking around in it. Wouldn't the impossible mismatch of wearing a school swimsuit with socks and shoes be delightful? And while she wore it in class, wouldn't her face be bright red? Ooh, that's good. That's the very good. It would be so embarrassing she'd spurt fire from her face. But the rules of her own club were the one thing she couldn't break, so she'd have to endure the humiliation all through class. Normally I could always feel her joy at winning everything in her supremely confident expression. What do you think, Kay? Wouldn't a Punisher game like that make you want to win? It does. It really does. Erie, you're amazing. But this is only the start, Kay. Now that you've realized the significance of beating Mion-chan, you can realize it for the other club members, too. Yeah! After Mion would have to be Rena. School swimsuits are nice, everyone, but I would definitely want to put her in maid clothes. That's good, very good. I think maid clothes would suit Rena-chan. Nufufu. Hold on. Simply making her wear clothes doesn't amount to much of a punishment game. Why, Cloud? You think we should make her wear it in class, too? Cloud waggled his fingers. Tisk, tisked, grinning. For this, you see, you should have her help you eat a refreshing bowl of yogurt. What? Cloud, how is that a punishment game? In Cloud's fantasy, Kay was making maid Rena hold a short spoon in her mouth backwards. Then she awkwardly scooped up some yogurt with it and brought it trembling towards the winner's mouth. She wasn't using her hands, so the yogurt dripped down to make the spots around her chest and mouth dirty, and that by itself was an incredible image. And it'd be nice if we actually got to see this, same as the Mion one. And as she brought the spoon out towards her face, close enough for him to feel her very breath. When she put the yogurt in his mouth, their lips would meet over the spoon. Wouldn't they start choking at that point? Like, how big of a spoon would... I feel like that's gonna, someone's gonna die. Mufu, you know, that's a game they play at the shops with girls in them. Maybe that was a little too stimulating for a minor like you, Mabara-san. Cloud, I never knew of any shops with that kind of game. Mufu, you can leave all the naughty shops to me. Yay, Cloud's the best. Though this does make me think of something. It would be interesting if Oishi, Dr. Eerie, and Tomotaki were all good friends in the actual story. Great, then what should we do with Satoko and Rika-chan? That pair has done some terrible things to me before. For this, we'll use an Angel Mort uniforms. They keep making you wear them, so I bet you want to return the favor once in a while. Ha 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 ha, just making them wear it wouldn't be fun, of course. And so I have a good idea. Here it is. Have them stand in for cleaning duty, like wiping down the windows and such. Told me that's an interesting idea, but it's missing an important more factor. Moe factor. Why wiping the windows anyway? In Tomi's fantasy, Satoko and Rika were forced to change into S-size Angel Mort uniforms. Assumed small. Satoko hadn't thought that she'd end up wearing something like that, and she'd glare at Kei with a bright red face, struggling to hide her embarrassment. Then, they would carry a desk to the window and climb on top of it. And this is the important part. We get them to wipe the windows with their butts. Piff! Bright red mist spurts from the noses of Kei, Cloud, and Irie. In their fantasy, the two of them had never even considered being made to do this in those uniforms, and even Rika-chan had her gaze downcast in embarrassment. And then the both of them would use their butts to wipe in circles. Squeak, squeak, squeak. According to Tomi, the windows part was important. In other words, you could see them from everywhere outside the windows, as expected of a photographer. His obsessions were something else. How's that? How do you like the punishment game I thought of? Tomi, the greatest. Whoa. Oh, and now that I think about it, I owe quite a bit to that Shion, too. Very good, very good. Let's think of a revenge game punishment for her that will heal Kei's bitterness. Mufu. Well, the Sonozaki siblings have real nice figures. They make me want to work hard. I'd lean towards taking off clothes rather than putting them on. One option is to have her remove one article at a time, just like Ryugu-san made you do once. Everyone, I've just had a spark of inspiration. Please hear out this idea of Kei's. First, we have Shion put on a school swimsuit. You made Mion wear one too. There's nothing amazing about that, though. Tis, 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 Tomi, don't rush the answer. And then, on top of that, we have her put on a full gym uniform. Then we make her strip. We'll have her only take the gym shorts off halfway, though. My mind cannot comprehend such a collaboration. In Kei's fantasy, Shion decked out in a gym uniform, was on her knees, face bright red, and unable to disobey the winner's commands. Trembling, she took her gym shorts halfway off. The school swimsuit bottom peeked out from the half-removed shorts. Normally, girls weren't embarrassed about the exposure from a school swimsuit. By having them take the gym clothes off to reveal it, the swimsuit gains an impossible moe factor. What an incredible combination, Kei. An impossible, absolutely impossible pairing of clothes, but you drew out the strong points of each, giving us Shion's ultimate form. Amazing, Kei! Whoa! Ahem, everyone. I know she's not a club member, but since we're thinking about punishment games, let's think of one for Takano-san. You're right, her central figure is perfect for punishment games. But Takano seems cool and collected. She'd be able to withstand a regular one. Which just means this, Kei, we'll just have to come up with an even more amazing punishment game. Kuwa! This is really getting me fired up. Crap, what kind of punishment game should we take Takano-san? I've got it. I think her voluptuous figure, would say the least, fit well in a bunny suit. Shops of bunnies? Oh yes. The kind where they hold the lighter up in their cleavage. We can't leave that out. But Cloud, his club is a school event, so wouldn't cigarette-related tools be a bit risky? Tell me, that's it. We could just have her put something from the school in there. You know how they have recorders, right? Ah, recorders. Yes, I see. We'll put that in. Takano's rule-violating chest. Her cleavage in the middle of it. Recorders are long. They're definitely long enough. So then she holds in her breast and wraps her tongue around it like this. The problem with that, while I do appreciate the image, the main thing that comes to my mind is this. A recorder has like metal pieces and edges. Wouldn't that like dig into like her skin on her boobs and hurt? Like, wouldn't that be physically painful? We're trying to cause embarrassment, not pain. Whoa, you're saying you'll make Takano-san do that? I actually have a recorder. Maybe I'll secretly test it out. Don't get ahead of the pack, Tomi. Aren't we soul brothers? Now I think about it, our old man has a shack, so maybe I'll bring that. I've played a flute for a long time. Would that be okay? It's more than okay. Oh, we mustn't forget, there's Chie-sensei. As an instructor who teaches discipline, she'd never be able to go against the rules of a punishment game. Chie-sensei. Our teacher playing a punishment game. I never even thought of that. Nifu. Chie-sensei, your teacher, Kei. Which let her through your woman filter. But Chie-sensei is wonderful. There are no gaps in her symmetrical body. If Takano has demonic allure, then Chie's charm is pure and angelic. Imagining the body hidden under that summer dress is the final paradise of intellectual imagination allowed to us middle-aged men. When you talk about her like that, I feel like I'm going to be too embarrassed to look her in the face tomorrow. What's wrong, Kei? How pathetic, weren't you the one who just devised such a shameful punishment game for Shion-chan? Not seeing someone as woman merely because she's your teacher. It looks like you need to study up a bit more. Since her butt sure is attractive. Gulp. Yes, that tightness. It is good. You have quite an eye for these things yourself, as expected of the school doctor. The first important thing is to destroy her sanctuary teacherhood. So how about this? Put Chie-sensei at a podium in front of all the students and demand to see her butt. Wait. Tomi, that's the kind of situation where you'd see France Publishing House Female Teacher Series. I apologize. Not demand to see her butt, but see her do something with it. Remember back when you were a kid? Drawing letters with your butt for a punishment game? I see. We'd make her do that in front of the whole school even though she's a teacher. Humiliation play. Tomi, our interests are lighting more and more by the day. Coo. Tomi, eerie. Don't you think there'd be a little something missing with only that? Okay, then what sort of other option would you propose? We have Chie hold the embarrassing pose for 30 minutes and have her be a model for a giant school sketching competition. A school sketching competition. That's amazing, Kei. No cameras, right? It has to be sketching, right? I remember that like Chie is supposed to be a reference to another character. That's another anime like it's in a fighting game. But there was a reference. I don't remember what to. Fine arts go well with the autumn season. That is driving me crazy. Yes, Chie-sensei's butt is definitely the part to go with. Do you see it, everyone? This is a Punisher game. It's only a Punisher if we go that far. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I finally want to win now. You may remember how sweet victory can taste. This is as far as we can help you. Okay, all that's left is for you to seize victory. Yes, but you won't be seizing it alone. We will be. With the power of our fantasies. At that moment, Keiji felt his power rising high enough that he reached the heavens. Overwhelming power enough to walk out in the rain and dodge raindrops, or walk on the sea and have it part ways for him. Thus, on the next day, Kay, wielding his powers to give him a nickname, the Dark King, realized one fantasy punishment game after another. None of the club members had any way to match his overwhelming strength. All of Mion's plans failed. And even Rena's cute mode couldn't come close. Satoko's traps were no more than sparrow's snares set for an elephant. And the only thing Rika could do was pat the heads of her defeated friends. The club members could no longer break out of this situation. Mion, realizing this, asked Chie-sensei for help. But Kei, filled to the brim with his fantasy power, beat her with no more effort than twisting a baby's hand. But that's... This punishment game is just too much. Mabra-kun, can't you make it something else? Chie-sensei, your job is to teach us to obey the rules, and now you want to bend them? All you have to do is stick your butt out and draw figure eights with it. During drawing class tomorrow. You just have to be a model for our sketches. But that's so embarrassing. You're being too cruel, Mabra-kun. Compared to the club members who were prepared to some extent for the punishment, Chie-sensei seemed to be quite resistant to them. But even as she stubbornly refused, she couldn't go against the ultimate rule of the club's world. The absolute right of the victor to make any command, and her mind gradually gave in. Clatter. Just then, the principal threw open the classroom door. Everyone believed that the school's most powerful joker had come to the rescue. But from his mouth came the most unexpectedly strict words. If both parties are in agreement, then that's that. As a teacher, Chie-sensei, you must obey the rules and play the punishment game. Yes. Principal, I knew you'd understand. Oh no! I thought for sure the principal would overcome this situation with his fists of steel. Even upon seeing this amazing sight of all the club members dressed in their grand punishment game outfits, the principal remained calm and collected, as expected of him. Now then, Ryugu-kun, what kind of punishment game will this be? What was it again? Rena turned to Satoko and Rika, and all of them tilting their heads in wonder. It was sticking out her butt and what? No, that wasn't it, Rena-san. He was saying something about doing sketches. In other words, Keiichi is extorting Chie's butt. The last sound of Keiichi heard was the sound effect of the principal using his level 3 special. Let this be a lesson to you. Enjoy your fantasies on your own time. Don't push them onto other people. Ooh, I'm sorry, Sensei. I'll be more careful from now on. After that, it is said Keiichi upheld the lesson and kept his fantasies to himself to enjoy. Mabra-kun! Please don't laugh in such a creepy way during class. And please don't look at your teacher with those eyes. You know, if this was a Persona game, we would start dating Chie. Today was another day of pure bliss for Kei. Here's the question, guys. Which is better, the Persona games or Shin Megami Tensei? Did you all enjoy the bonus story? It was kind of a lewd one. I wonder if this was alright. Still, I get the feeling Kei-chan got to see all the good stuff in this one. Yahaha, it ended terribly for me as always, but I certainly liked it. Punisher games are all the best. I wish you wouldn't put ourselves in our shoes, abused by man's unhealthy desires. Wasn't the whole story starting with him being in your shoes? Even if it was all his imagination, I think there were a little too many lewd punishment games. Too many. Too many. I'm pretty sure all of them were lewd. Half stripping a gym uniform with a school swimsuit underneath is simply too suggestive. Satoko and I were both played with like toys. I still have to say, this outfit does look nice. I know I complimented it quite a bit in Chapter 2, but I do like this outfit, especially on Shion. Wiping a window with our butts, disgraceful. Disgraceful. It would never happen. I, with my mouth, spoon, yogurt. Thump, thump, how. Crap. You're all lucky your Punisher games were short. I would have to wear a school swimsuit all day. This was clearly unfair to me. Come on, everyone. Don't blame me. I was just following the script. Still, I'd love to see this situation again in the main story sometime. Is Mio going to show up at some point about this? You know, with the bunny outfit? Wahaha. Kei-chun does go through a lot of trouble in the main story. Maybe a fantasy event like this is okay once in a while. He can only feel good in his fantasies. I feel called out. So sad. So very sad. Definitely called out. Even his fantasies were a huge bother to us. I'm getting really angry now. That means we need to use our fantasy to take revenge for his. Wasn't mine revenge for your guys' bullshit, though? You're like getting revenge for my revenge. Wahaha, makes sense to me. I don't care what you do in your thoughts. Give me whatever Punisher game you want inside your own minds. Won't hurt or itch even a little. Shion-san simply doesn't feel entertaining enough to get revenge in all our fantasies. Satoko, no, that's not it. Let this be a strategy meeting to figure out what will make Kei-chan do next time he loses. Haha, I get it. You're saying we should do the same thing Keiichi-kun and the others did in this story. In that case, it does sound entertaining. Think of a fabulous game. It will be even more fun to beat Keiichi-san. That's right. Our fantasies will be fuel for tomorrow. For now, let's give it a try. Go for it. Yay! What do you maybe do is spend a whole day in a school swimsuit? What would be good? An exchange. They do say an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Then we should have Keiichi spend the day in a school swimsuit too. The whole day. Ho ho, I can picture Kei-chan's misery. Spending a day all red, half sitting, looking down trying desperately to hide how his lower region's pole is standing. That wouldn't be so bad. Keiichi all red and flustered. Together all day with him in school swimsuit. His fertility, so cute. How? I'll take it home with me. I think I would still rather see him wear a maid outfit. No, come on, Rika-chan. A school swimsuit is more cruel. It would hide his body lines. His lordly, boyish circumstances would be on full display. Lordly circumstances, shaking and swaying. Pwah. How? I agree with Mion-san's opinion. Maid outfits are a little cliche, aren't they? We'll make him wear maid clothes and play in a game for Coach. A Hinamazawa Fighters game? I was thinking of using Mion in a school swimsuit as the thumbnail. But I'd rather use this. I should have used both. Whatever. Too late now. Or is it? Can't tell whether it's more gross or more cruel. Making him play a game for coach in a maid outfit would be like tying a goat up by the legs and leaving it out as shark food. I'm kind of interested in how coach would react. Okay, let's do a simulation. Fanson, switch on. Mamabro-san, what on earth are you wearing? Chatter, 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 chatter. You see, this is a sponsor game for the club, and I am sorry, I promise. I'm not trying to make fun of the baseball game. Chatter, chatter. But clearly he's not serious in that outfit. It's an insult to baseball. No, I promise I wasn't. We're not feeling it today, Hinamizawa fighters. I'll just call today's game a draw. As Keiichi cowered, the coach with a resolute expression cut between him and the others. Everyone, please, quiet down. Nowhere is it written that baseball sportsmanship mentality that you're not allowed to play baseball unless you wear a uniform. It is said back when Japanese baseball had gotten past the war, they didn't have matching clothes, and some players wore their military uniforms. What matters is your mentality. Besides, they say you can trace baseball roots back to 18th century England. When you think of England, you have to think of maids. Yes, maids, maid culture, along with Nile, the Hindus, and Euphrates, and the four major civilizations that even elementary schoolers know these days. In a way, this maid clothing, maid culture is born in the same place baseball culture was, is much more in line with tradition than our uniforms, which you call proper clothing for baseball. Yeah! Coach, coach, coach! It doesn't matter what we wear. Start the game already. Smash, roar! Swoosh, roar, roar! Maber-san is next in the gambling ring. As you know, the Hinamizawa and the Okinawa Titans have a long rivalry. If you mess up your chance at bat, you won't be getting off lightly. I'll do the best I can, but I can't promise I'll hit it. How sad. A maid sworn to absolute obedience by their master should never say such things. If you strike out during your chance at bat, well, what'll happen? I would need to punish you. The act of coming out on a proper maid outfit and losing is the same as insulting both cultures. Baseball and maids at the same time. And in that case, I would of course punish you in the English way. What's the English way? Ask Kei-chan. Trembling coach gains cold-blooded reptile, then strokes Kei-chan's waist as he whispers into his ear. What could the English punch be? What could it be? How? Kei-chan has a batter box, grips his bat, and notices something. Oh no, the bat has been tampered with. There's no way he can hit it now. Yes, he's fallen into Coach's trap. At this rate, Coach will have his way with Kei-chan's chastity. Wait, hey, hold on, Shion. I stayed quiet and listened this whole time, but now things are getting out of hand. Oh, come on, Kei-chan, don't get in the way. This is all just a fantasy. It doesn't have anything to do with the real you, Kei-chan. That's right. This is simply a few girls getting together to talk about their whole wildest dreams. And this is not the same thing you did when the boys got together? Well, yeah, I guess, but even these are just daydreams. I still can't pretend I didn't hear that. If you want to hear it, you can sit on a chair and listen. Nipa. I want to talk about other punishment games too. Oh yes, when you talk about how much you liked bunny girl outfits, Keiichi-san. And wiping windows with our butts, if I recall. Kei-chan, you came with some pretty amazing things too. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, and you're getting them a little mixed up. And those were Tomotaki Sans and Oishi-san's ideas. I mean, I guess I'll admit I got carried away, but how it doesn't really matter who thought of it. Keiichi in a bunny suit would be so cute. Then let's go see it. Fantasy mode, switch on. Damn, this was an embarrassing outfit to begin with. And now wiping the window with my butt. Damn, if I don't hold my chest up and it'll come right open, embarrassing or. I feel so miserable I could cry. Alright, here we go. Squeak, squeak. Snap, snap, snap. Snap, 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 snap. Oh, wow. What were the flashes? Super rapid fire photography. Hundreds of pictures per second. Tomoto-taka-san? Yeah, please stop. You're taking a picture of me like this. I thought you were a wild bird photographer. When do you switch to bunnies? Keiichi-kun, don't misunderstand. I really am a wild bird expert. At this very moment, too, of course. Snap, 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 snap. Explain to me what birds you're taking a picture of right now. What are you zooming in on with that magnifying lens? Have you ever heard of people calling wild boars mountain whales, Keiichi-kun? Whales obviously don't live in the mountains. But people in the Edo period said there were whales swimming in the mountains and their meat was highly prized. Haha, they say it was actually boar meat, and they were forbidden for religious reasons from eating animal meat. But if it was a whale, it was a fish meat, meaning technically they were allowed to eat it. Snap, snap, snap. Don't hide yourself with your hands. Wipe the window with your butt. Wipe it. I think I can see where this is headed, but could you please stop with all the snapping? That's right, bunnies are rabbits, and rabbits too were called relatives of birds in the Edo period. It was the same as the mountain whale. That reminds me of something. I think it's... There was... You guys know like how there's ways, like some languages will describe certain things as masculine or feminine? But there's also, I know there's a language that used to do the same thing, but instead of differentiating on gender, they differentiated on like legs or limbs. So whether it like walked on 2 legs or 4 legs, but then wings were considered their own separate category. So it changed like the way the word was conjugated. They said that technically rabbit meat was actually bird meat, so they're allowed to eat it. Yes, in other words, bunnies are relatives of birds. That means even if I found you through my viewfinder, there's no problem at all. Hurry, there's still more to wipe. Snap, snap. Even I know rabbit stew is super popular for Edo people, but the culture doesn't have anything to do with taking embarrassing pictures of me. Besides, aren't chefs the people who should be concerned with rabbit stew? Twin-san, you're a cameraman. You're twisting this too far. You just don't get it, Keiichi-kun. I'm a cameraman. Sometimes I think I'm a chef behind my viewfinder. If I didn't roll up my sleeves when enticing mature rabbit meat is in front of me, I'd be a disgrace to chefs everywhere. Right now I've obtained the greatest ingredient in you, and I'm hard at work on the best recipe of my life. Yeah, someone stop this pervert cameraman. Peeping photos are not cool. I'm morally against low-angle photography. Dwa, say what you like, but you're heartless. This is way beyond punishment game territory now. Oh, I did say this was a fantasy earlier, didn't I? This isn't doing you any real harm, Keiichi-san. Yes, it is. Those grins you keep looking at me with. Those suspicious eyes, it's like they're licking me and it tickles. Come on, you can't lick people with your eyes. Isn't that part of Full Metal Alchemist, the anime? Coo. Fantasies are simple thoughts. Freedom of thought is the #1 guaranteed right we have in post-war Japan. But you know, I don't know if it's just fantasizing about it is enough. I can't wait for the next club session. How? Keiichi-kun going to squeak with his butt. How? I'm taking you home with me. Oh ho, I will think of some amazing trap ideas. No matter what, I'll make Keiichi-san do them for these punishment games. Sis, promise to call me for your next club session. We'll rally the combined might of the Sonozaki sisters and win a complete and total victory. No day would be more of a nuisance than the one of the Sonozaki sisters joined forces. We'll have to get Oishi involved too. What was it, a punishing game where you made Rena eat yogurt? Oh, and it's boring how Satoshi-kun has been missing from all this. Now that we're on the subject, if we got Satoshi-kun and Kei-chan to take turns spoon-feeding each other yogurt, almost had a nosebleed. Damn it, I'll remember this. Well, we don't have a choice, Keiichi. We lost. Damn it. I couldn't afford to lose this game. Your rookie mistake midway through really cost us. Not for that, we could have recovered. Sorry. No, that's not... You're not the only one to blame, Satoshi. I'm responsible for not realizing my mistake. I said too much. I apologize. Today we may have lost, but with the two of us together we can win next time. Yeah, you're right. We'll just have to admit defeat today and do our best next time. Then let's get this punishment game over with. I'll start. I just have to put the spoon in my mouth, a scoop of yogurt, feed it to you, right? What's wrong, Keiichi? If you don't eat it soon, my jaw will get tired. No, it's just a little... Well, 2 men having to do this, it's embarrassing. Keiichi, I think the whole point of the punching game is to be embarrassing. So we do it without getting embarrassed, maybe it'll go a lot more quickly. Well, maybe. Acting embarrassed like that would just amuse them more, right? But still, I don't know. We just have to spoon feed each other once. That's it. Let's get it over with and call it quits. I know that logically, but, well, going all out like this is embarrassing. I tell you the truth, doing this with you, Keiichi, it embarrasses me too. Huh? Oh, your hand. See? My heart's been pounding since we started. So I want to get it over with quickly. Because if we don't, Satoshi, do you not want to eat my yogurt? If it were me, and your yogurt, Keiichi, I'd want to eat it. Whoa, Satoshi! And so they took their first step on the road to forbidden love. It kind of reminds me of Shinji and Kaoru, from Evangelion. The alternate ending where, there aren't space aliens. Please don't wrap Nini up in your strange punishment games. Collapse. Wow, Rika-chan, what's that? Chloroform? Me? It was just getting good, so I wanted Satoko to quiet down. We literally just made a Yaoi 69 joke. Okay, we know what Rika likes. I'm not judging. Rika-chan is scary sometimes with how merciless she is. How? Wait, where did Keiichi-kun go? Someone other than Rena took him home. No fair, no fair, no fair. Oishi-san, are you there? You've got a civilian call on the outside line. Why can't I declare Ron? Wait, please, Oishi-san. Oops, thank you. I'll be back in just a bit. The man sitting across Oishi was wagging a receiver at him. It's the outside line from a payphone. I'm terribly sorry. This is Oishi-san. Sorry for the wait. Who is this? Is that you, Oishi-san? Hello? Well, if it isn't Mabura-san. Hello, and what can I do for you today? At first I thought this was going to be an ordinary after-party. But ever since it started, it's gotten very, very strange. Please calm down, Mabura-san. I'll send a patrol car over to you now. It'll be there in 3 minutes, so do your best to hang out until it gets there. 3 whole minutes? I'm already surrounded. Please stop. Or at least be gentle with me. Loud noises. Hold still for a man you really don't know when to give up. Somebody help. Mom, how Keiichi-kun is so cute when he's struggling. I'm taking you home with... Didn't get to read that. Loud... Where was I? Loud, you were caught in a trap the moment you fled to this phone booth. Squeeze. Thud. Hello? Are you there? Can you hear me, Mabura-san? Nipa! Click. Beep, 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 beep. That was how one unlucky boy found himself swallowed in Hinamizawa's darkness once more. Okay, finish the bonus chapter. Excellent work on Higurashi When They Cry Ray. Bum puff. Ever since Kai started, we've had this series of massive stories. Little scenarios like this one are fine once in a while too. But wait! Even a little knowledge can be dangerous, right? Wasn't the first chapter of Higurashi pretty heavy on the thematic side? It was. Okay, I like that outfit. Haven't we often given up certain sacrifices and blamed it all on the dice of fate? Not being able to blame it on anyone seems a very painful choice. I didn't really understand it, but I had no idea such a mean story would follow right after the grand finale in Matsukoishi. I went through a lot of bad things in that story. Meep. I was happy I got to make so many appearances. Ow, ow. But really? But if I put myself in the main character's shoes, it would really stink. If it were me, I'd think I would have been worrying so much the whole time limit to go back to original world would have run out. Huh? Why worry? That world was a nightmare, right? Didn't Hanyu say that world was a dream at the end? You just have to do your best to wake up from it. No, sis. I thought after she chose the original world, it would have been too much for her to think about the world she didn't choose, which is why Hanyu told her it was a dream. Like I said, it could have been a dream, could not have been a dream. I think the main thing was, one, it's a what if, like it gave you both possible chances, like choices. On the one hand, Rika decides to live peacefully in that scenario, and then there's option B where she decides to, kill her mom to return to the original world. And of course she freaks out a little bit thinking about that, but there's two reasons for that. One, Rika was kind of, taking for granted, her own life. But also, all those times she kept, space-time rewind, doing the prestige, she was kind of taking for granted the fact that by trying to constantly go for June 1983, she was just sort of giving up on her mom and other people. So like each time she was okay resetting the world, she was indirectly killing her mom. So the idea is that you have to actually take seriously, not take so lightly, the impact of the choice you're making. So the idea being that even if it's just a dream, it's at least setting the point that, hey, every time you did a world reset, technically you're killing off all the people in that world too. As well as you're prestiging yourself going into that world. But then ending that world after it didn't work out, well, the question is, what happens to all those people you leave behind? Basically, she stopped respecting the sanctity of her own life, of the lives of the other people in the world, and most of all, like I said, especially with Rika's situation, her mom, the whole point was making it direct. Like, oh, you have to actually, stab her and actually actively kill her. Because at the end of the day, whether you're actively doing it or not, in all the other scenarios, that's basically what she was doing. Was, so technically in every one of the dice rolls, Rika, I can't remember her mom's name, but technically her mom's blood would be on her hands in each one of those scenarios. So as to understand the gravity of what she was doing. I think it was so she could sever any lingering attachments to it. No, but that could be too. I just think it was more so. I think actually the opposite. I think it was, again, either opinion's fine. That's the whole point of a story. But from my point of view, it's about she was taking those attachments for granted and not giving them the value or care they deserved. In the story, I said a few things about having regrets for the choices you don't pick. I think that either world would have been the real one, depending on what Rika chose. If she chose the other one, maybe her original world would have become the dream. It might have been all the hallucination I saw when Satoko hit me with the ball and knocked me out. The scenario wanted Rika-chan to make a choice, so it made things tougher. But after all that, maybe a coin flip would have been easier for her to handle. Like I said during the story, I think that would have meant running away from the choice. Yeah, because then you're basically putting the choice in the hands of the coin without actually making the choice yourself. You have to actually make the decision yourself. Whatever choice you make, if you made it yourself, you could be okay with it. But if you didn't make the choice yourself, you'd have a reason to keep complaining forever. I agree. Yeah, you have a choice to make before you even have to make the choice, whether to choose or not. With some choices, there's just no way to pick one option. That was probably the theme of higurashi, the distress that can cause. That was really a cruel tale. It made me out to be a cold person. Enrique hit me with a chair. It added insult to injury. That doesn't matter. This old man barely had any scenes. Technically, you weren't there. Technically, it was Shion. As you. But I guess it's okay. I had a huge role during Matsuri Bayashi to make up for it. I showed up a lot in both of them, so I'm nice and full. Ow. You appeared pretty often in Ray. You didn't first show up until later, though, so perhaps it was alright. Come to think about it, Higurashi was all about me, and the story was a tiny bit lovey-dovey. How... Yeah, actually the way your cute mode sends you on a rampage reminded me how I saw you way back at the beginning of Higurashi. This is just my impression after reading the story, but, sis, you have to start pulling together a little more, or she'll outdo you. Renaissance is way more aggressive than we thought. Meep. But wait. Why is everyone taking pity on me? Huh? Why? Why? Haha, not telling. Anyway, Higurashi was a story based on motifs from the Higurashi Daybreak world, the fighting action game released by Twilight Frontier. If you're interested after having read Higurashi, please go give that game a try. I looked it up. Which tag team will get their hands on the love-creating Magatama for blah, blah, blah. Aside from me and Rena being on one team, there are plenty of other storylines to experience, so give it a look. Shameless plug. It's not on Steam. Hey, Shion-san? Come to think of it, Higurashi had a different BGM than usual, didn't it? Good on you for keeping an ear out, Satoko. You're right, in Higurashi, in order to give it a more Daybreak feel, we wrote several pieces that actually used Daybreak, composed by Twilight Frontiers, composed by Yutu-san. With different music than usual, our normal escapades felt very different, too. Of course, this is a sound novel, so the sound is important. The word sound takes up an entire half of the term sound novel, after all. Yeah, music has immeasurable effects that can make scenes much more exciting. Thank you so much to all the composers who contributed to Higurashi. If you can, we would very much like your help again on Umaneko. Oh, I've seen that name crop up on the blog on the Circle's homepage. Umaneko When They Cry, right? The naming feels like a meme now. But the new game coming out, isn't it? Well, the name is still provisional, but when Ryokishi-san's words, it's set in stone, tentatively. A lot of higurashi sounds are used all throughout higurashi. So if Umaneko, does that mean a lot of seagulls will be crying? What sound did seagulls make again? Squawk, squawk? It'll apparently take place on an island. And with the words island and ocean in mind, seagulls come up as a natural animal you'd hear making noise in the background. Heh? What? They decided the title based on something so minor. Anyway, wouldn't it be more difficult if you didn't even have a temporary title? You have to put together stuff like this for you, and you'll be in trouble later. He says it's only a tentative title, and if he comes up with something way cooler, he'll change it. Though I think it's probably already settled. I wonder what the story will be about. It has his same When They Cry in the title, after all. I wonder if there will be more strange crimes with people dying. I don't think there's any doubt about that, and I don't know who's going to be the main character, but they'll have it rough. In any case, if you had to choose a main character from this circle, you might want to give it some serious thought first. He said something about it inheriting the blood of higurashi when they cry. But still wanting to aim for a different kind of world. I don't really understand what he's talking about. Heh. Ryokishi-san said he'd start working on the plot for real after making the master copy of Ray. I bet he's gotten all sorts of unpublished writings together already. Look forward to Summer Comic-Cat 2007, Ipa. Well, this was certainly one high and mighty next episode preview. Judging by how there aren't even any screenshots of yet, he must have meant when he said he'd start working on it for real after finishing Ray. Ugh. Now, next year's Summer Comic-Cat is still 8 months away. We just have to relax and wait. Please keep checking the Circle's development blog for progress. So this game was like 2006. It's 2025 now, so it's almost 20 years. That does it for our PR announcements. Public releases? How did you like Higurashi When They Cry, Ray? We hope you enjoyed it. This volume was called Ray, meaning gratitude, because we wanted to thank all of those who enjoyed Higurashi and supported us. If you've enjoyed it, then we couldn't possibly be happier. Right, when we thought we wouldn't be showing up anymore after Matsubayashi 2. We had a ton of fun appearing again like this. Our Higurashi world antics are still a blast. Yeah, maybe Higurashi's most interesting facet was having all kinds of stories, happy ones, angry ones, sad ones, and fun ones. Saikuroshi and Higurokashi both fit right in. I had a lot of fun appearing in all sorts of different ways. I still haven't shown up enough. Is this the last time we'll be appearing? Ow, Ryokishi was thinking he wouldn't write any more Higurashi from now on, but he had a lot of fun writing these stories, so he might have changed his mind a little. He said he'd still write a few more things if he has time. Oh ho, that is how it should be. I want him to write a lot more about how amazing I am. Our appearances, or rather Higurashi When They Cry, isn't over yet. Yep, there's no such thing as an ending. We're still living, and we'll all have kinds of experience. and we'll have all kinds of experiences after this, and have many more capers. Yeah, and as long as we're Hinami's out, there's no way weird stuff won't happen. Coo. That goes more for than just our club activities. Every time I hear this laugh, coo, it just makes me think of Mega Man Legends. Because that's... Yeah, that laugh just makes me think of Mega Man Legends. I still want Mega Man Legends 3. There might be more horrific tragedies, too. I'd very much like you to be in those tragedies, sis. But I want to be in a romance with Satoshi-kun. That's right, we still haven't had a story where Nini comes back. Haha, you're right. I'd like it if there was a story where I had something real to do. That's right, I want to show up doing a lot more cool things too. What about Jiro Tomotaki's Storm Cloud chapter? Does Japan even get tornadoes? Hee. Wouldn't a story depicting our adult relationship be a little too stimulating for all the good boys and girls? How about we bring them a story about my splendid younger years to set an example for the youngsters? Nah. I'd be interested in your days as a kid, Oishi-san. And I'd like to see a story about my own mahjong days. Sheesh, it's all over the moment you start rambling about your younger days. I don't care about my days as a greenhorn. I want to be in the main character and a major role. Don't you? You jest. Flashy roles? No thank you. What about you, Chie-sensei? You're young, so I'm sure you want a more important role. If someone gave me the chance, I would, but if I was the protagonist, well, I think they'd have to change the title. I think there is a game where Chie is a protagonist, but it's an entirely different anime, and she's got like 8 swords or something. And she's got like ninja powers. It's like some anime very similar to Bleach. What about you, Eri-sensei? Would you like to be one? Who, me? He'd probably be like a hentai protagonist. Well, of course, if someone called on me to do it, I'd take on the role. Everyone born into this world wants to be main character at least once. What about you, Okanogi-san? You were very powerful, so I'm sure you want to be in the spotlight. Ha 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 ha. I'm fine with my role as a villain. If I had the chance, I'd like to make even more of a mess of things. Me too. I'm fine being a villain, but I just want to show up again. It's only because we're such great villains that the main characters look so good. I've had enough of being the villain. A good guy role would be nice for the next time. You know, it does kind of remind me, like, there was that guy who played Malcolm Middle's dad, and then he wound up going to Breaking Bad because he didn't want to like stay the goofy character all the time and wanted a more serious role. I'm sure there's been many situations to the opposite, where you have somebody who's like the very serious gruff role and then takes on more light-hearted roles. Like, imagine if like Robin Williams did John Wick, but not as a parody. But like imagine if Robin Williams did all of the Keanu Reeves movies, like The Matrix, but not as a parody, not like as joking way. And imagine if Keanu Reeves did all the Robin Williams movies, but not in like a serious way, but as a like the way Robin Williams would do it. So like imagine if Robin Williams did all the Keanu Reeves movies, but did it in the way Keanu Reeves did it. Like basically like, and I'm not saying in Keanu Reeves' style, but more so like John Wick is a serious movie. So I'm saying if Robin Williams was doing that, but not in a jokey comedy way, but it was like if Robin Williams was trying to be serious about it. Same way if Keanu Reeves did a bunch of Robin Williams movies, but, you know, approached it the way Robin Williams did. I know, it was just an act, but bullying little girls doesn't suit me, right, Satoko? Hope we're good pals in the next story. Oh ho 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 ho. Being on good terms with you, Tepe-san, would make the story a bit embarrassing for me. I think there's one what-if story where he's like a completely doting uncle and not the piece of shit he is in the story. That's a good thing about like characters, like you can write the story however you want. Even them getting along and just the after party feels very, very odd. Well, I mean, that's another thing to keep in mind is that, especially looking at it this way, we're treating it like a movie. Where, like there's many times where actors, you know, both the villains and the heroes talk, like, on set and just, like, chilling, having a meal because, you know, it's kind of like, you know, say Heath Ledger playing the Joker. Everybody had a blast hanging out with him, and he would just be rolling around on a skateboard and making jokes and laughing. But, you know, not in a dark way. Like, there's a lot of people that are actually horror movie villains that are, like, very big advocates against things like torture and murder and war. Like, I'm pretty sure John Kramer, the Saul series. Let's see, Jean-Luc Picard of Star Trek The Next Generation. Doug Bradley, the person who played Pinhead from Hellraiser. And then, of course, there's Rudolph? Robert Englund, the person who played Freddy Krueger. But all of them are like take the person who plays the original Freddy Krueger. I don't know if the actor's still alive, but because it's a long time ago. But like I know a lot of times when they'd be making the movies, he'd be the most polite, kindest person you ever met. And a lot of these people that wind up making the movies when they're the villains, they're actually some of the biggest, you know, advocates against things like war and all that sort of stuff. They just like the movies and they like playing the roles. It's kind of like Shakespeare. They like the stories of Shakespeare and they like acting it and reading it. But they'd never actually hurt anybody. It's just really amazing stories and art. It's not like you really like music and expression. I think art and music and video games are really great. Ow, but everyone here has got to put on performance together, so it was really fun. I hope we all have the chance to perform again together. Of course we will. Now, granted, I still need to read chapter 7 and 8, and I'll be actually doing the plus chapters after this, and then I'll be going back to chapter 7 and 8. But I will say this to Rukishi. I would like a new Higurashi game released on Steam. So like a brand new Higurashi game, and on day one of it, when it gets released on who knows how many consoles, I'd like it to also released on Steam on the... Granted, I don't think Ryukishi's ever going to hear this. I'm just saying, one day, I would like more Higurashi. But whenever and if you want to, I'll look forward to it. And if not, I at least appreciate what you have made. It's been a great story. Of course it will. If we all wish for it, we'll sure to meet again. After all, the main story is already over. And the extra stories, anything goes. And in the extra stories, anything goes. I can't wait to see what kind of nonsensical stories will be called in for next time. Cuckoo, and maybe 07 expansion will finally break into adult stories. I'm not against that. But if Satoshi-kun really insisted, I might not be able to refuse. Satoshi-kun. I'd like a story that both adults and children can enjoy. That's right. Shion-san should keep her unclean stories of Nini inside her head. Meep. If it's okay to dream, Weren't you chloroformed, Satoko? Shouldn't you still be unconscious? Possibly dead? Maybe, if it's okay to dream, then I would like a very charming little story where I've grown up and have a nice body. Oh. I want a story where everyone respects me more. I am a god. You should all be worshipping me. Nobody's had enough yet. I feel like we'll have to meet again together in a new story. We're really grateful to everyone for continuing to follow Higurashi when they cry up until today. On behalf of all the characters appearing in Higurashi, we'd like to extend our thanks. The only reason we made it up to this point was because of how much you all supported us. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to meeting again in some odd and special stories. Are you ready, everyone? 1, 2. Oh, that looks amazing. Thank you for everything you've done for us. You know, I was thinking about using a thumbnail that was a picture of Shion looking very shocked at Mion in a swimsuit by having those two pictures next to each other. But this... This is just too perfect to pass up. I was gonna have a picture of, like, the picture of Shion next to Mion, but this... Also, Tomotaki's just the camera. He's not even actually in the... And granted, there are some characters that are in the back, they don't get seen as much. Let's meet again. Good work, everyone. I'm Ryukishi07. Well, we've had nothing but long chapters thus far, so it's nice to have short ones once in a while. Just confess that it was easier to do the work, Nyari. Hello, I'm Yatazakura, and it looks like I won't be getting a paycheck this time. Well, leaving that aside, with Higurashi having come to a close for now, 07 expansion is finally speeding headlongs toward its next work. I wonder what we should make next. That said, time for emergency conference on what our next work should be like. Meep? Didn't we decide Umineko when they cry? Hello, I am BT. Cattail. Bell. Ears. Nipa. Indeed. I've given a temporary title to Umineko and come up with a direction for the story, but is that really what we need? Yukishi will throw all kinds of ideas, one after another, into a pot in order to make an even more enjoyable work. He'll boil them and stew them together. Then we'll leave them overnight and curry the next day will have to be delicious. That's more like yamanabe than curry, Nyari. And sometimes it tastes better when you don't mix anything weird into it, Nyari. Come on, staying on the defensive will get us nowhere. All interesting stories lead to cooking. Exquisite preparation. A harmony of spices. A secret ingredient beyond imaginings. Elevated to the highest of heights. They become a wonderful flavor to move the hearts of men. To do that, we'll research interesting stories from the past and present, from east and west, and extract their essences. By bringing them all in, we'll write a spectacular story nobody would have imagined. Meep. I feel like this will lead us astray, but I think it's an interesting direction. How naive. How naive, Nayari. I know how this will end, Nayari. We'll think of all sorts of ideas, and then the other famous title will fly out, and this is just Kami, or that's fate, Nyarin. How about this? If we keep mixing interesting essences, we'll arrive at a famous title in the end. So instead, we'll do the opposite. Throw the same titles in themselves and mix them all alchemy-like. I have no idea what you're talking about, Nyarin. But in short, you want me to rip off a bunch of popular works, mix them up, and maybe come out with something new, Nyarin. Curry, rice, fruit punch, and strawberry shortcake. Children love each of them on their own, but if you mix them up, nobody would eat them. Are you sure? Are you perfectly certain of that? Why don't we try? Curry with fruit punch is totally fine with me. Wild alchemy results in numerous chemical discoveries, and if we get nothing out of it, we might learn something from the process. It is our mission as 07th to shamelessly test it all. It's exciting, it's what we were meant for. There's a water fountain next to you, so I'll wash out your mouth with mud. If I eat curry mixed with shortcake, I'd want to wash out my mouth too, Nyarin. But I figured out what you're trying to say, Nyarin. It's good you understand with that. We'll go to a recently popular. No, popular doesn't matter. We'll say the titles were in recently and then throw them into a pot and boil them all up. Alright, first must be you, T-san. Meep. It's very difficult for me to pick one out of them, but I'll go with safe choice. Suggest Zane. Something Zen Maiden. Oh, safe choice. I think not. You get right to the point, Nyarin. A heaping help of tsundere heroines is just what this age needs right now, Nyarin. Oh no, that isn't it at all. It's originally having a hikikomori protagonist in a modern world where the problem is only whispered about. Its novelty having it figured itself. In the age of figure moe to be the heroine. And yet it still has the gold-paved high road Japanese boys can't help but yearn for a lover appearing without them doing any work. It has so-called something formula firmly in place. With an essence so perfectly aligned with the times, I can see why that alone would make it a huge hit. Yes, it's suitable for the first ingredient in the melting pot of 07's next work. Then next, Yatazakura-san should take a turn. I have a bad feeling about what he'll say, though. If you want a high road, you can leave the I have no idea what that even means. Oh, thanks, Niari. Well, I have to suggest Sakagaki something. I knew it. The Golden Age constructed by Jump is also the Golden Age of battles. Any of us Japanese boys can attest to the fact that the catharsis of battle is engraved in our very genes. All those strong enemies standing in your way every episode, and you alongside reliable friends take down one foe after another. Normally battle stories are weak in that they have a single protagonist leads to the battle turning into the same thing every time. By increasing the number of protagonists, they overcome that problem of variation. The composition of the battle serialization that lasted for such a long time through different cards and situations each battle. I see, you could call it the culmination of the fighting genre that Shueisha has spent 100 years constructing. The passionate catharsis in its battles spans time and space. Thanks to the golden work called Fate, it has proven its unchanging attractiveness even in the changing 21st century. However, Zen and Konjuku already feel like chlorinated cleaner and acidic cleaner. How naive. Sayajik might be macho, school uniform men, and they might punch it with sweat. But that's merely the outlook of Jump Comics, and only because no chaos Prime is. I'm starting to fall asleep. Not because there's nothing wrong with the story, it's just I need to sleep more. I'm tired. In other words, the essence itself is not on the visuals, but in the catharsis of string battles and the myriad of combat situations that would never be opposed to Nyaran. Yes. A sharp reading as always from you, Yata something. You're correct. Another, I can't read shaky words. In other words, we must elevate the Alone game that appears in Aizen's story well to fighting game tournament. In other words, school principal must be a neat and a shut-in. And then the tsundere heroines appear uninvited. His action-packed days with those girls is the only opening. Eventually he'll announce the ass game out of nowhere. How do you what? What is this music? Well, why would there be a dueling ground there? Now then, is there anyone who would take on Zenmin's second doll count something? That's where this Ichigo should come in for real. No, this is... out of the way, this opponent is already far beyond your measly attack. What are you? Chance to appear whatsoever. Oh, you seem confident in your martial arts. Then why not try this out? The ultimate way to duel. The Ariskaimu? What? The Ariz... You know, this... Yes. Due to the consequence of the ancient child made it an urgent mission to find hammer skilled Miller as they could. To that, the Emperor the cruel trial called the try and gather everyone martial arts with unusual talents. This incredible cruelty was said to only allow 1 in 100 to live through the trial and serve, but it honored the warriors who received the right to undergo this trial, and it said that when the messenger of the Emperor came to the villages to request participation, he was welcomed with open arms. Also, this messenger, according to the historical legend, wore a rabbit mask. And in England, Lewis Carroll, having gotten the idea from it, wrote later Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, but most people don't remember Richard or the mimic. What? Lactic acid bacteria. If you want to play the violin that much, I'll let you play it for the Enma in hell. I did a stunning turnaround victory. I'm opening my lunchbox to get leftover. It's a Gatorade. Did you see that? Something? Sigwin? Take the hint already and surrender. Cuckoo, what fools! I've only been using my low-rank minions, but this is where the alone game truly becomes hell. And that's what the story's gonna be like. Meep. I have no idea whether that's a novel idea or a horrendous one. It's novel, but nevertheless, I feel like some other circle has already written something like that. Yes, I'm sure another circle has already thought of this. But we're not done yet. We've still only mixed together 2 things. With a 3rd thing out of the pot, we'll have something horrendously novel. Meep. A dryad spirit could probably do it. This makes me think of the game Raging Loop. It's a 2017 Raging Loop visual novel. Looking forward to your help. Last up is Ryukishi-san. What kind of work will you suggest for us, Yarn? I'm glad you asked. This is the big-hitting title Ryukishi will propose. Yep, a super huge title you could possibly remove from the West Hall. The Ultimate King completely dominated Comic Cat's Western Hall right now. Well, it doesn't have a fandom and a user base, but a creative base spread far and deep. So famous that music circles aren't said to be music circles until they make and arrange a CD of it. The title has filled the entire top 10 list of music CD sales at Toronto for years with its own genre. Yes, you don't mean... Yes, the greatest peak of shooting games. The Legend Among the Dojin World, the Toho series. Well, you really did pull out the big guns, Yarn. Meep. But the Toho series is a shooting game. We can't make shooting games in our circle. Of course, we can't extract the essence of the shooting game genre. We can more easily extract the essence of its captivating world. We have the kind of jump still encouraging Japanese boys today. Added Maiden stormed the anime world by hitting everyone generations needs. And now we have the Dojin World's King of Kings, the Toho series. Cuckoo! By combining these three incredible essences, we are sure to get results. It's now our fate to give birth to the ultimate work that will dominate the 21st century. Okay, the shaking words, not only they're hard to read, but they're making me more sleepy. It's like I'm just starting to pass out. I understand your luck, Yarn, but what part of the essence do we suck out, Yarn? Like BT-san said before, we can't make shooting games in our circle, Yarn. Meep. Does Toho's appeal lie outside of the shooting genre? Would it be the unprecedented feeling of a mysterious world? That's another part people love. Indeed. This is a fantasy world where anything goes. Its unique setting completely different from an extension, so the so-called JRPG-style worlds that already exist certainly stands out. After all, it has shrine maidens, maids, blazers, gothic lolitas, sweet lolitas, and even Japanese lolitas in it. Even when they're all in one place, none of it feels unnatural in that world. The shaking text is going to make me pass out. I beg of you, make one of the next new bosses wear a school swimsuit. And those outfits, normally impossible, are possible in Gensokyo. In Gensokyo, throwing in other characters is no problem at all. Please make the next new boss have a school swimsuit. Meep. I understand that Ryukishi plays it out is an extremely biased taste. Now I know why he still hasn't unlocked the extra stages. Not with that wicked heart. To sum up what Rikishi wants to say, it's like this, right, Yarn? We can have all kinds of outfits that suit our tastes, all appear in one game. Yahoo! Yahoo! I'm so tired. Here's the thing. Would anyone actually want... If I made videos of the Umaneko series, would anyone watch it? Meep. I would think there are other things we can learn from Toho, but for now Ryukishi is referring to that when he talks about what to extract. Kuku fuwaha, the gods will bow before us, for when these three elements are combined, the new world that results will bend its knee. Now go, triple god combination. I am tired, my back hurts from work. Zukago, whoa, 3 dueling. What? The something complain. How many times? What do you do, Hugo? In that dueling ground, we can't use all our skills, can we? Interesting. Confident martial arts. Boring conclusion, and that won't awaken the fight within me. However, I will give you one handicap. What's she doing? Is drawing a line around her. It's like a sumo ring. I will defeat the likes of you. I'll take a step out of this circle. If you can force me to even step out, I will admit defeat and serve you wearing a school swimsuit. Heh. For that condition, I accept. Why don't I do the same thing then? What? Drawing around, but okay, but how do you guys fight each other from separate circles? I'll fight without leaving this circle as well. If I take a step out, I'll admit defeat and serve you on bloomers and a collar. Well, what? Cool. You're quite presumptuous to think you can take me on. Are you guys like using projectiles? But that's soon enough. Take this. Rosen, ultimate attack. The yawning doesn't mean I'm bored, it means I'm so tired. So hard to stay awake. You left the circle as promised. You'll change the school swimsuit right now here and serve all of us here. What? But it can't be Erg. It's really funny how the voice goes back normal as she loses the yarn. Goo fun lactic acid bacteria times of Jin Sama and skill swimsuit. I am bringing her home with me. Should we be leaving our circle's next work to someone like this? I'm very concerned. It looks like we should remove Yurikishi from the picture before thinking about Umineko and Nyaran. You heard them, Nipa. I'll make an actual game, so don't worry about anything. Keep an eye out for what we're temporarily calling Umineko and the Cry Your Own. We look forward to your continued support, Nya. In my view, everything went wrong after Ryukishi mixed all those things together. To correct it, it's a little... You guys remember Chaos had Noah? To correct it a little, we'll have Dai-san add something to the mixed yarn. Meep. If Dai-san adds in something normal, I'm sure a strange Yamanabe something will be a little better. Then I'll summon Dai-san. It's been a long time, Nyaran. I won't lie to you guys. I'm having impure thoughts. Yes, hello, it's Dai. Yes, I'm imagining her as Futa. But really, what have you called me here so suddenly for? Meep, we want you to suggest a manga or anime that left an impression on you. I see. There are so many to choose from. But what about Dragon Ball? Hey, Ryokishi and Dai and BT-san and Yaka something. What if you had Dragon Ball Z, but with Hinamizawa syndrome? Goku gets Hinamizawa syndrome. Heck, I made a joke in the previous video about Rick and Morty. I want Rick and Morty to parody Higurashi in one of their episodes in their show. Excellent choice, Dai Swan. Let's go with... So tired. Okay, so somebody's gonna go Super Saiyan now. Put a brave. Nothing. Also too tired to read anymore. Okay. The shaking text I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of the shaking text. Was the blooper bit at the end supposed to be a reference to Dragon Ball? Oh, Pilaf? Oolong? World's most comfortable panties? That's like the very first arc of Dragon Ball. Like from way back when. I had a vague idea, but it's all vulgar as usual, Nipa. Nipa! I'm starting to worry about our future. Is our circle really going to be alright? You might want to give us some time to consider whether or not we should stay together from now on. Please continue supporting our circle in the future, and don't abandon us, Nyaran. Please make more higurashi. Nipa. I like to imagine that all three of them said Nipa in unison, or at least Rika and Mio said Nipa in unison. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining me on this, and I'm gonna upload this and probably pass out, and then go back to work. Okay. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. Later.